I was so excited about another seller lead that had came in, and he called me before I even had the chance because I was at my son's basketball game, and it was super loud. But he just rattled off, oh my god, like all the improvements, blah 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 blah. He already told him that somebody else told him he could get 680 for it. I was like, okay, so let's make the appointment.
You and I actually met a little later than what you had originally joined in the program, but you started in 2024. You started kind of, what was it, kind of towards the end of the summer in 2024, is that right?
I
Middle of the
honestly
summer?
think it's almost gonna be a year soon in April maybe. So I think the call that I had was in March, and
Okay,
when everything like officially like got going was maybe in May, April or May maybe.
probably May. Let's say May. So you started
No,
in
yeah,
May
probably
last year.
May. Yeah, I want to say that's the earliest leads.
hmm
I think that I
May's
was.
a good time. May's a good time for a lot of people, right? We're coming off of the spring market. You decided, you said your initial call was probably in March. What was going on, Stephanie? Why were you looking for something like Meskula? Why'd you even click on the ad?
So, I was really struggling with the lead generation part of the business. What I've always
Mhm.
enjoyed is just the once you already have the client, once you're actively looking for homes or once you are past that phase of like just trying to figure out where you're going to get the business from. And
Mhm.
I had joined recently a brokerage, and the owner of that brokerage is really big on lead generation. So then I
Mhm.
was going down a rabbit hole and like looking up all those different lead generation places, and then I stumbled upon you guys.
Okay. I like that. So you stumbled upon us. You heard some things from a brokerage that you joined that lead generation is the way to go.
Hmm.
Now, the Stephanie I am talking to today is not the same Stephanie that joined the program initially. Do
No,
you have, well, why do you think I'm saying that, Stephanie, from your point of view?
I mean, from my point of view, I can see a big difference in my skill set is still getting there, but it's definitely made a big improvement. But for me, it was a problem with the mindset. The mindset was there that I was understanding what this was
Mm,
about because lead generation, like this type of leads, is not the same as if like your cousin tells you their best friend is selling a
yeah.
house, and this is basically a done deal. And no matter if you like do a good job on the first conversation, it's still gonna happen. This is not the same situation. So I was understanding that, but then I
Mhm.
was like getting frustrated really fast. And when somebody was rude, I was rude back. Like it
Yeah.
was a hot mess in the beginning, for sure.
It's a huge struggle, and you said the word. I was not going to bring it up in the whole conversation. Mindset, because for a lot of people, mindset doesn't really mean anything. Mindset just means be more positive, and you're going to get it, right? You're attracting something, and for a lot of us, it doesn't make sense. But I think you broke it down beautifully, Stephanie, in this way where hey, it would happen to me if somebody's being rude to me. I want to be rude back, right? If
Mm.
somebody isn't being responsive, if somebody's not carrying the conversation the way I want to hear their tone of voice, I'm kind of done with the call and I'm like, man, this guy's trash. I don't want to talk to him. Now, what happened today? What happens now? You get a lead. What are you expecting from this conversation?
Well, definitely, I don't get that mad. Like, it happens sometimes automatically, but like I think it's just like the way that you talk and the way that you present yourself, you're gonna get different reactions because people can feel your energy. So just the way that I
Mhm.
talk to them, I don't even get it as much anymore. That the people are totally like want to bite your head off. But
Mhm.
what was the question again? So
Yeah.
what had happened? Sorry.
What do you expect basically? Now you talk to him and now you know it's not like a referral, it's not like a friend's cousin.
Okay.
What are you expecting in the conversation now?
Well, I know exactly what to do now. And my thing is, like, I feel like I had that proof of concept. Like, even when I listened to the coaching calls with other people, and there was this one guy, I won't forget, and like just the way that he was like with his like energy, and he's like, I don't care, I'm gonna keep calling them, and it's working. And seeing that from other people that it does work makes you realize like, hey, this is not, oh, the service sucks or something like that. This is like it's clearly working for people, so it can
Mhm.
work for anybody. And kind of like that mindset shift helped me a lot with like sticking to it and like having a good outlook on it. And I've closed already now. So like and I'm getting positive responses now. So now I know that it works. So now I'm more
Yeah.
excited because it's kind of like, oh, my phone is ringing or like I'm getting the little text. I'm like, oh my God, how exciting. What's the address? Let me call them.
Exactly. It's exactly that, right? We start actually getting more excited. It can be so nerve-wracking at the beginning because it's like we're diving headfirst into the unknown. We're spending tons of money. You go through a month, you go through a couple of months, and you start getting frustrated if the conversations that you are having are not in line with what you feel like you should be having at this point. But you mentioned another thing that I also think is at least for me very important. Seeing what other people are actually doing. What are what are the conversations that other people are actually having? Because this also to me means, am I doing? I don't need to sound like anybody else on the program. I really don't. I don't need to say the exact same thing everybody else is saying. But there are always little bits that I take from someone else, like, oh, somebody told me that, and I did not respond in that way. Maybe I do want to try that, right? Or maybe my opener can be a little bit different. And I know with you, we've talked about that, the opening piece of the conversation. We've talked about tons of different things with you, and I want to know from your point of view, if you were to go back to March or May last year and you were to give a piece of advice to yourself joining the program, what is something that maybe you wish you started doing sooner?
Be more consistent. I remember like I had Karen before you, and I just thought about this today for some reason. I constantly was messing up on the coaching calls. You know, I wasn't sticking to it. I wasn't
Mhm,
showing up, and I wasn't really applying it. I
mhm,
would say,
mhm,
okay, guess I'm gonna try it, but then I wouldn't. Like I wouldn't have the script in front of me when I like in the beginning. Now it flows a little bit more naturally, but I like to have it pulled up when I if I can at all. Or like I was not sticking to, for example, like being on point. Okay, this person just booked the phone consultation, and I would be like in the car if I could have prepared myself better. Now I'm in the car, but I have Wi-Fi in my car. I have my laptop there, and I have everything already pulled up, so I'm more prepared. So like it starts with you. That's one thing,
mhm,
and yeah, be positive. It gets better. I feel like I still have a lot to learn as far as like that conversation goes, that first conversation, because once you're past like the first 5 minutes, which is where I still mess up a lot,
mhm,
then it's basically a done deal, you know? You have to like
mhm,
learn how to talk to people and just start conversations. And
mhm.
what I've noticed about the Meskula leads, not everybody might be ready right in that moment because, you know, like it's timing sometimes, but you need to get a good conversation going in the first time. So they're going to be
Mhm.
picking up again because if they didn't like you the first time or if the conversation was too short, then I feel like it's usually not going to end up anywhere. So that like it counts the first time you talk to them.
First impressions definitely count. And you said I'll ask you just a couple more things, Stephanie. Us going back to you starting in May when your ads first went live. You said now you're closing. Is it one listing down? Do you have two? How many do you have so far?
I closed one already. I have a bunch
Mm-hmm.
of people. I've gotten some buyer leads also. So people might come in as a seller lead or like inquiring about a property, but it's
Mm-hmm.
really for the purpose of either buying that specific property or something. So it's kind of like you need to kind of really figure out what's going on there. And what I can definitely say as one big tip, you need to call them right away because that's
Yeah.
going to be more likely to end up building that relationship. Even if they are, if even if it says 12 plus months or whatever, that one might not be true. And two, you need to build that relationship with them right away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. I like that, Stephanie. And just a little follow-up question. The listing that you already closed, how much did you sell that one for?
Which was the one? That one was a hot mess though. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna like that one was really that one was tough. Oh my God, was it 290 that we ended up closing for? Yeah.
290.
It's
Okay.
not
And
the
you,
biggest price here, but like the people were so nice. That was literally a come list me situation where I don't think I had to put much effort into it because they were just
uh,
so that one was easy. That was nice.
and you said now we're building a pipeline. I know that when we first started this call today, both of us are excited to go through what's going on. But for this
Mm.
year, what are you expecting? Because obviously your pipeline's a lot bigger than it was last year.
Yes.
What are you
I
expecting
have
for 25?
I have some really good ones that
Mm-hmm.
I've been in touch with, that I've built like a good relationship with, that call me. Um, one lady's getting ready to list. We're getting ready to list now with her. It's gonna be like in February, March. She's relocating. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to have all of that in place with her job because sometimes that does happen. Like just because you know they're not ready, it doesn't mean you should pressure them or that was a failure. So
Mm-hmm.
I talked to her the first time probably 3 months ago. but we do talk. I do keep in touch with her, and she's gonna be ready now because her job is gonna be ready to relocate now. So now we're gonna be doing that. She's finding a place in North Carolina, and she's gonna sell her place now here. And she did like some renovations in the meantime, so everything is going great with her. Then I have another couple where they're waiting for their son to relocate, and they're finding out because he's in medical residency, so they're finding out where
Mm-hmm.
he's going to be. So really that's what they were waiting for, but he already told me he's like, it's definitely going to be a done deal. He was in sales, so he said he appreciated how I was
Uh,
talking to him. You get one of some of those sometimes, so that's nice. And yeah, so that's going to be happening soon.
okay. Okay. Well, Stephanie, I really like this. Just last question I will ask you is this. There's usually, not obviously, but there's usually fear whenever somebody's joining a program like Meskula because I don't think I've ever asked you in the past, but some people that we get joining this program, they've joined programs in the past where maybe, they sign up 1 week and then a week later they call the line that, they just paid however amount of money and the line's disconnected or they're gone or it wasn't real or they just didn't, fulfill their promises or whatever it is. For anybody that might be kind of on the fence, they're not sure if they should join, is there anything you would say to those people?
One thing I can really say, and what I really like about you guys, what I really appreciate is the coaching part. More
Mm,
so than even the leads. Not that I don't appreciate the leads, but I really like the coaching part because I feel like it goes together really well. And I've been
yeah.
able just to apply it in general to the business on how you guys teach how to talk to these internet leads. I don't think that if I would just have the leads, I would have had the same rate of success. I probably would have
Mm,
failed.
really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
that's important. Yeah, and that's really helpful.
I'm glad. I'm glad that you found it helpful, Stephanie. And that's really all the questions I have. You are absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing all that, Stephanie.